Gina Rivera was born into a family with a rich history in the beauty industry, spanning over 85 years. Gina's vision for Phoenix Salon Suites was to create a unique business model where beauty professionals could rent individual suites and operate their own mini salons. The model offered greater freedom and flexibility. Like many startups, Phoenix Salon Suites faced challenges in the early days. Initially, the concept of salon suites was still relatively new, and some beauty professionals were hesitant to leave the traditional salon structure. However, Gina and Jason were determined to prove the viability of their model. They focused on supporting beauty professionals. Gina went to Colorado to meet her father, a hairstylist, to help her get into disguise. She is going to be portrayed as Ashley, a married woman with 2 children, who is competing to win a 1-year apprenticeship with a celebrity stylist. After disguising herself well, she is going to be working as a barber at Phoenix Salon Suite. She went to the salon and met with Michelle. Shortly after, Chris joined them. He was there to get a haircut, and Gina was the one who's supposed to do it. Struggling with no experience of barbering before, she started cutting Chris's hair. Michelle keeps telling her how to do it right, but Gina can't even hold the razor straight. Chris, listening to the instructions and Gina's confusion, commented on how much he wants to see what is happening to his hair. But Michelle jokingly told him that he wouldn't want to do that. Michelle took the razor and took over to fix what Gina ruined.
I'm gonna just fix this for a second, even with her.
Michelle then told her they will now do a straight razor shave, which is a straight blade and it needs caution. After the necessary warning, Gina got nervous and overwhelmed by the thought of performing such a thing on someone's face. Shortly after, their next client, Mike, came to get a shave. They started preparing him for that. Michelle reassured her that she will walk her through everything. They took a hot towel and put it under his nose after folding it. Gina covered Mike's mouth, and he jokingly told them he couldn't breathe. Gina fixed the towel, apologizing. Michelle handed Gina the straight razor, along with several warnings. It was precision work, with no room for mistakes, so Gina needed to be extra careful. Michelle demonstrated the technique, and Gina hesitantly began. The pressure started to build, as Gina had never performed a straight razor shave before. Michelle, skeptical at first, watched closely, but to her surprise, Gina handled it well.
Surprisingly, I thought Ashley did really well.
Gina successfully completed the shave, much to both her own relief and Michelle's satisfaction. Michelle complimented her work, which eased Gina's nerves. Afterward, as they wrapped up for the day, Gina asked Michelle if she had children. Michelle revealed that she has 4 kids and had recently gone through a divorce. Gina's next journey took her to Las Vegas, Nevada, where she will be working as a nail tech. She got inside and met up with the nail technician, G. After they shared greetings, Gina expressed her amazement by how there were a lot of things there. G told her that she liked it here, and it makes her feel like she owns her own salon. G could clearly see that Gina was overwhelmed by the amount of products and how neatly they were kept. As they were talking, a woman walked in. G introduced her to Ashley and explained that they would be working together on her. The task was to do a pedicure, and G sat in front of the woman first, demonstrating to Gina how it should be done. Once she was confident that Gina understood, G excused herself to go to the bathroom, leaving Gina to take over. Gina, feeling both nervous and uncomfortable about touching someone. Sensing Gina's anxiety, G reassured her that everything would be fine, as long as the client left with a flawless result. Gina admired G's professionalism and her dedication to delivering perfection. After fixing the polish, the woman thanked both of them and left. G suggested they have lunch, and the two left the shop together. As they walked out, Gina glanced at the empty suits displayed in the window and asked what was happening with them. G, clearly concerned, explained that she had already spoken with the owner, worried that the branch might be closing. Upon learning about the shop's struggles, Gina thought a new marketing strategy might be a better solution than abruptly shutting it down. Gina then traveled to Catonsville, Maryland, to work as a cosmetologist. There, she met Felisa, another cosmetologist. After they greeted each other, Felisa explained that they would be working on installing a wig. Gina felt nervous, as she wasn't familiar with styling African-American hair. Their first client, Kira, arrived and greeted them warmly. Felisa explained the process and began installing the weave to demonstrate how it should be done. After showing the initial steps, she handed the needle to Gina so she could try it herself. Gina took over and began working. As Gina is working, Felisa complained about the thin walls and how noisy the salon was. Felisa then added that they needed to finish the installation in 60 seconds, prompting Gina to rush. However, when the 60 seconds passed, Gina was far from done.
It's been over 60 seconds, actually.
Oh, it has?
Yes.
Felisa rated Gina's performance a 4 out of 10. so she headed to Long Beach, California for the experience. There, she met Richie, a hairstylist. Richie initially thought that Ashley looked like a stay-at-home mom and worried that clients might be hesitant to have her cut their hair.
Ashley's appearance is a little stay-at-home mom. My clients expect a little more fashion-forward.
Their first client, Sandra, walked in, and they began preparing her for a haircut. Richie explained the process to Gina and then handed her the scissors. As Gina carefully cut Sandra's hair, Richie started talking about the grand opening of his salon. He recalled how poorly the event had gone, to the point where he didn't even invite his regular clients, fearing they would think the salon was failing. Richie explained that he and his husband had to liquidate their assets to cover the medical bills, which amounted to around $2 million. He mentioned that he grew up poor and had even lived homeless for 2 years, though the financial strain was especially hard on his husband. Moved by his story, Gina hugged him in an attempt to offer comfort.
No sorries, it's Survivor. If anything, this is what we do. Stand on it like a soapbox. And you survived it.
Richie then showed her a picture of his daughter. Before leaving, Richie mentioned that he was heading to the shelter where he used to live to give makeovers to the residents and invited Gina to join him. It was finally time to reveal Ashley's true identity to the employees. They were all invited to Los Angeles, California, under the impression that they were visiting the set of a reality show to hear the final results. One by one, Gina sat down with each of them, introducing herself as Gina, the co-founder of Phoenix Ceylon Suites, and revealing that she had been Ashley all along. They were, in fact, on the reality show Undercover Boss. The employees were shocked, yet amused by the unexpected twist. While speaking with Michelle, Gina expressed her gratitude, thanking her for the comfort she had offered during their time working together. She mentioned how much she had enjoyed the experience. Gina told her she loved hearing about Michelle's kids and mentioned that she can understand how hard it is to have a son who has such a disease and the expense that comes with it. Then, Gina surprised Michelle with a gift of $10,000 to help her buy wheelchairs and other essential items for her son. Gina also promised to pay Michelle's rent for over a year. Gina then mentioned Michelle probably doesn't have time to go on vacation, and as an additional gesture, she offered Michelle and her family a fully covered vacation to Maui. Overcome with emotion, Michelle cried and mentioned that this is not something that happens to people like her, and happily embraced Gina.
Saying, you don't understand, this doesn't happen. This does not happen. Like, it's finally paid off.
Next, Gina spoke with G, reminiscing about G's concerns over the salon potentially closing. Gina reassured her that they would find a way to fill the space. She then offered G $5,000 to purchase supplies for her hair and nail salon. During the conversation, Gina brought up G's daughter, and G excitedly shared that her daughter would be graduating from high school in just 8 days. To celebrate, they had planned a cruise. Gina offered to cover the cost of the cruise as a gift. Additionally, Gina told G that she would be giving her $40,000 to help with her daughter's college expenses.
Wow. That's amazing.
After this, Gina spoke with Felisa, addressing each of her concerns about the hair dryer and the noise issues. Gina promised to get her a new hair dryer and assured her that they would find a solution for the noise. She then revealed an exciting opportunity. Felisa would be brought up to headquarters to help develop a new African-American hairline, which would be named after her. Additionally, Felisa would receive a percentage of the profits from every product sold. Finally, Gina gifted her $10,000 to assist with family expenses. Overwhelmed with emotion, Felisa cried as Gina expressed her gratitude for all the hard work Felisa had done. Gina told her how proud she was that Felisa had given everything for her daughters, and then offered to pay 2 years' tuition for Felisa's daughter. Felisa hugged and thanked Gina before leaving.
You'll be very, 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 very proud of me. Very proud of me.
The last person to sit with Gina was Richie. She expressed her admiration for his style and complimented his taste. Gina then offered $5,000 to help him host a fundraiser for his daughter's medical bills. Richie, overwhelmed with gratitude, cried tears of joy. She went on to acknowledge how much driving he likely did to take his daughter to hospitals, and told him she would buy him a car to ease that burden. Understanding the immense financial strain caused by medical bills, Gina told Richie that she couldn't even imagine being in his position. To help, she offered to buy him a house, worth up to $250,000, so he would never have to worry about that again. Richie, unable to contain his emotions, broke down in tears and hugged Gina, who comforted him. He then walked out to where his husband and daughter were waiting. In tears, he shared the news with his husband that they had been given a car and a house. They embrace their daughter, all deeply moved by the generosity they had just experienced.
Headquartered in Waco, Texas, the Dwyer Group is a parent company to 7 franchise brands specializing in home and vehicle maintenance. They operate in 1,500 locations and have an annual revenue of $800 million. The Dwyer Group was founded by Dina's father in 1981, and it started with 36 franchise locations, and now they have more than 1,500 locations. Dina took over the CEO role after her father passed away, and at first people doubted her leading skills, but she quickly got respect by working hard and growing the company. Dina wanted to go undercover because since she became CEO, she feels like she's been disconnected from her employees and the franchises. And so, she wants to go undercover and see what problems they're facing so she can fix it. She'll be going undercover as Faith, an office assistant looking for a job in the field. For her first job, she travels to Roswell, Georgia to work as a plumber.
Today I'm in Roswell, Georgia, and I'm going to be a plumber.
She meets up with Dwayne and he takes her on the road to a customer's house. They then start working on removing the failed water heater and installing a new one. Dina's never really worked a physically demanding job before, so she really struggles to keep up with Wayne, but he was still a great teacher nonetheless and helps her out. While working together, Wayne reveals that he's not been properly getting paid for the last 2 months, and he also tells her that the employees are not really treated well by the company.
It's very frustrating to me to see here's a guy worried. He needs to be able to take care of his family, not worry about whether his paycheck's right or not. And we need to make a correction here.
Wayne believes that there's something shady going on within the company and that he's been actually getting ripped off. When Dina hears this, she gets really upset because she's never really heard about employees not getting paid before, so she excuses herself and then calls the president of the franchise and orders her to fix the issue immediately. For her next job, Dina travels to Germantown, Tennessee to work as a ground guy.
Today, I'm visiting a grounds guys franchise. We call them the grounds guys because their responsibility is to take care of the lawn and the grounds.
She meets up with Jake and she shows her how to drive the lawnmower, and she then takes the wheel, but again struggles very much to control the machine.
You know, it wasn't as perfect as I expect out of any of my employees.
And Jake was forced to stop her. They next move on to cutting down a tree, and surprisingly, she does pretty well at this job, and Jake was also a great teacher, so she picks up on it really quickly. For the next job, she travels to Deer Park, Texas to work as a franchise owner.
Today I'm in Deer Park, Texas, and I'll be working alongside a Mr. Electric franchise owner.
She meets up with Brock and he takes her on the road and they meet up with a customer. While driving, Brock reveals that he doesn't really like the company's standards and protocols, and he tells her that he likes to focus on the business side of things and says that customers don't also care about the protocols and that they just want their problems to be fixed really fast. Dina was quite upset to hear this since the protocols are put in place to protect both employees and customers, but she didn't want to blow her cover, so she keeps her cool.
And I have to help them understand all the systems are necessary.
It doesn't work real good.
I am going to follow up in the situation, but right now I need to start working and deal with the customer.
They then reach the customer's home shortly after, and Brock teaches her how to install light bulbs and sockets, and while working with him, she sees that he's a great owner with just one issue to improve on. For her last job, she travels to Conroe, Texas to work as a service technician.
I'm here in Conroe, Texas, working with the Mr. Appliance franchise, and I will be a service technician today.
She meets up with Tana, who takes her to a customer's home, and she first teaches her how to fix a stove. Dina wasn't really great with technical jobs, but Tana was very good at explaining, and Dina does pretty well, and they then move on to fix a fridge, which they also fix in a short amount of time. While working together, Dina learns that Tana is a mother of 4, and she also works very hard to be able to support her children. Her husband is a very supportive man and also tries his best, but his income wasn't really enough, which is why Tana was working this job.
Great example of how women can do well in this type of a business. I would love for more women to understand if they love to work with their hands, make a living for your family.
And finally, after these encounters, Dina's undercover time comes to an end and she invites her employees to reveal her true identity. First to find out Dina's true identity was Brock. She tells him that she was happy he was able to grow his company, but him not following the company's standards was unacceptable, and she then explains to him why the rules are there and why they're very important. And Brock then understands everything and promises to follow all the protocols.
But you're never doing everything perfect all the time. Anytime you have an opportunity for improvement, you want to give it a try.
Next in was Wayne, and she tells him that she appreciates him telling her about the pay cut, and she then informs him that all those problems are fixed now and gives him $20,000 so he can pay off his mortgage.
The fact that she's giving me $20,000 towards a home is just, I don't even know how to thank somebody for something like that.
Next in was Jake. She tells him he was a great teacher and that she had fun with him, and she then offers him a franchise with everything paid off, and on top of that, she gives him a brand new car.
This is the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me.
Last in was Tana, and she tells her that she was an amazing employee and offers to mentor her, and she then gives her $10,000 for each of her children's education and another $25,000 to help out with other financial problems.
It's definitely a blessing. That's all I can say.